88.5%. Jinx, 88.5 FM. We got the flavor. Jinx, 88.5. Jinx, 88.5 FM. We got the flavor.
His Excellency, George Wea, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a nicer country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong, and no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because their SAR is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
You cannot be for democracy when it favors you. You have to be for democracy, period. If 49 of my colleagues come today in the chambers and say, Mr. Speaker, for these reasons, we don't want you, I will step down the very same day. We will not even go to court or go say anything. What is important in any democracy is the Constitution and the rules that we go by. We set the rules of the game before we start to play. We don't make it up as we go along. You don't say before the game 49 is required, then in the middle of the game where we can only reach to 42, so 42 is good enough. There's a reason why it takes 37 to elect a speaker, but 49 to remove him. Because the Constitution and the frameworks recognize that an attack on this branch of government is destabilizing. The only people who will tell you everything is fine in Liberia now are those people who got their head buried in the sand, are those who want to pretend like all is well. But the entire world has now focused on this issue and this problem, and the house is destabilized.
But I know there's one example that I have that showed that we cared. We won these elections, and then in 2018, I had gone to see the woman to talk. I was there from like 8 o'clock to about 10:30, 11. We had a long conversation, laughing and everything. By the time I got home, I was called by one of the sons, and they said to me, oh, the woman had a heart problem, he in the hospital. So I'm like, I was the last person there. First thing in my mind, that maybe people would think, I did something to him or something. How come you're the last person to visit the former president? By the time you leave, he ends up in the hospital. President Wea did all he could. We made rapid arrangements, and he went to Rhode Island, to the Rhode Island hospital, to seek medical attention. All of that was paid for by government. And I think that was one of the key examples that I can link on, because I was involved in that process. Once I was called, I informed the president what was happening. And in a few days, he was sent off into Rhode Island. He did his surgery for his heart. I think that was showing care.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong, and no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because their SAR is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Wea, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
So we're giving at 4K Tuesday. Yesterday it was 4K. Today is another 4K Tuesday, man. You want to get 4,000. 4,000. Good morning. Good amount to get your day started or solving. What may seem a Herculean task? Oh yes, 4,000 can do it. Daniel Zionwen from Phoenix, Arizona, the United States. Mary Tooley, New Georgia Estate. Thanks for the compliment, Mary. Stam, Cam Johnson Road, AME University. Hope that you people are faring well at that macrocosm. Jesus coming soon. Beware, Prince. Yes, I am doing good. You ask, how are you doing? I am doing good as long as we have the breath of life. Hope that you are faring well also. Solo Wat Corsia, New Georgia, your comfort zone, you said. Murphy Hine, you are on from District 9. No, I have no fish to fry in that oil tonight. My fish will be on tomorrow. So I have no fish to fry, no meat, no chicken to fry in that oil tonight. Murphy Hine. Whether Real Madrid wins, Arsenal wins, well, it's up to them. My responsibility to concentrate on my game on tomorrow. But if it went the other way, well, then that's good. You know why? These people, when you try risking your reputation for them, they let you down. So I'm not risking my reputation for any team, even Enjoy 11 going against Madrid. I'm not going to risk anything of a reputation, leave them. Whoever wins, that's it. But if it is Barcelona against Real Madrid, then I can tell you with certainty. Benson, Devio Victor, Butcher Island, Clara Town Sports Park. Hope that you people are faring well there. Alvin Favor Fremont from Minnesota. We thank you. Henry T. Joe Jr., your residence in Caldwell, Asata Miller, Red Light, Clarence Dwyer, who has become a statutory member of the show, your legal hustle ground, Amara Jala Kamara from Brussels, Belgium, William Hoff, Minnesota, the United States of America, Bappin Paul Lee, Johnsonville, Clady Allison, hope that you are faring well. Harris City from Galway, New Jersey. That your school, and the man, he has already given his score. He said Arsenal 2, Real Madrid 1. The Arsenal man, I was the Arsenal man. If it happens that way, no problem. At least we'll congratulate our men from on the other side. Jay Campbell, Yanti from Carl Walton Beach Road, Okay. Willem K. Sumawolo, my dear John brother, good to have you on the show this afternoon. I don't know the time in your area. I guess it's in the morning hour. You are from York Staton, the dog community. Hope that you are faring well. Yes, Willem Maxique from Pennsylvania also. Patella, you are also on. The intellectual center that never misses out on the show. Yeah, I can't get started, though you people have just switched on. Block 13 Intellectual Center from District 13. Jackson C. Ponin Jr., who coordinates everything. I am told that you people are on both radio and television, and the Intellectual Center is locked down. So let me say good afternoon to you, Jackson Ponin Jr., and the chairman of the Intellectual Center, Romancio Latupam, Cannibal or Rico, as he's affectionately or widely known, chairman for life, the only chairman that don't ride Lexus 2025 bulletproof, the only chairman that is down to earth with all of his people, the only chairman that don't lie, the only chairman who is the common citizen, I am told, in that area. That's good of you. And interestingly, he is a die-hard fan of George Wea. Well, George Wea lives in him, I am told. Romancio Latupam or Cannibal. All right. So it's another day. Today is the 8th day of April 2025 in the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. Before we get started, let's go with this reminder.
I'm feeling the vibes with originalhits.com.
In their continuous effort to mobilize and recalibrate for a great comeback, the National Due Payment Committee of the mighty Congress for Democratic Change, CDC, invites all partisans, supporters, and sympathizers to the launch of the CDC National Due Payment on Saturday, April 12th at the CDC National Headquarters in Congo Town. It's time to show your loyalty and support for your dear CDC. By paying your dues, you will empower the CDC financially as she prepares to make a great comeback to national leadership in 2029. The launch will be led by First Partisan Dr. George Wea, Party Chairman Janka Cole, Party Secretary General Jefferson Tambakoji, the Speaker of the 55th National Legislature, Councilor J. Fonati Kofa, Senior Senator of Magibi County, and Chairman of the CDC National Legislative Caucus, Nathaniel Fallo McGill, the one and only Rescue Mother, Nora Finda Bundu, the Executive Committee members, and all party stars of the mighty Congress for Democratic Change, CDC. The CDC due payment launch will climax with live performances by famous entertainers like Hipko King Takun J, Christoph the Change, and Afro-pop singer Dench. Also see live comedians Paul Flomo, Arthur, and Ojuku. Also see student leader, the famous Angel Michael, and many, many more. It's the launch of the CDC National Due Payment on Saturday, April 12th, starting at 10 a.m. at the national headquarters of the mighty Congress for Democratic Change in Congo Town. Be there.
I've got just like yes. Have you seen them build the hospitals? Have you seen them build the schools? Have you seen them build the roads?
3 days we are talking about now, excluding today. 3 days. Today is Tuesday. You got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday is the 12th. Today is the 8th. 3 days you've got to move in and be a part of that formal launch. You have started, some of you, very many have started with your process, securing your book, with the education of how you go about with your payment. The publicity is not only widespread, but sustained. It's going all around, though it hasn't reached the entire country yet, but it is spreading gradually. Those of you who have not received yet, but you are aware of the information, you have to tell other people. Do it the Jehovah Witness way. When you hear, then you pass it on to another person, and you pass it on by educating them that the team will be coming, and this is how they said we can pay our due or get our bill. Just like that, the little information that you have, you just share, you spread it. The team will be today after the news, 6:50 to 7:50 Liberian time on CDC hour to explain more of that and other issues. You want to follow it. So 3 days in between, not long again. As I told you yesterday, I should repeat myself. Guy against temptation. You must have at the back of your mind your enemy, your political enemy, don't want anything good of you. They will operate in disguise so that it doesn't work out as the way you want it. Do not lose sight of any one of those things. We are in a warfare, but not a military warfare, a political warfare, and life as a whole, just existence on earth is a warfare because you've got to face several issues. You got to face several giants in your life in order to achieve your goal or whatever you have. Now, you can do that without having the understanding that temptations will come your way, anger will come, vexation, people will try inserting themselves in your midst in disguise. All of these things, you have to take them into consideration. So you will have to be very mindful of how you go about your activity on Saturday. You know that your enemy don't want any good of you. No enemy which is good for the next person. This is a warfare. They will do everything they can so that it goes in a way that they can capitalize on it and say a lot more negative against you, that you say you're having a due payment. Look at what happened. The party is disorganized and all of things. Then they're waiting. Your enemy takes advantage of any and little things that they can hold on to and make big and spread. So you want to the same way with us in the opposition. We are not against, but they see us as against. However, we try to make them to know that we aren't against, but we are doing what is right because they have the obligation. We don't have the obligation. They have the obligation to do what is right because they sign up. Joe Boakai stood up and said, I, Joseph Human Boakai, it wasn't 3, 4, 5 persons. He alone do solemnly swear that I, so he and his people, they got the responsibility. And you've been on their back, you're checkmating them. They don't like it. Too many awful things are happening. So they want to take the attention off them to make you feel that they are a figment of imagination, just how Satan operates. And you don't give into that. Be very attentive. Be very, very attentive. Guide against all of these I have shared with you as you get ready to assemble at your headquarters to participate in the formal launch. Let's get started now with the issues we've got. The King's Cash giveaway. Start playing. Run ahead of me. Dial star 799 star 24 hatch. Play with $200 Liberian dollars or $1.50, and you can have your 4,000. It's 4K. That's all. 4K. tomorrow it might go up from 4K to something substantial. But get the 4K first, and be using that while you wait for the bigger one. Yes, so tomorrow is going to be it's going to go up a little bit. So get the 4,000 today. Play as many times as you can. Let's hit the target weekend, and then somebody can get their 4,000. In the meantime, we will do something of goodwill. Yes, in the meantime, we'll do something of goodwill. But let's get started. That star 79 and star 24 hash, play with $1, just $1, or 70 cents US. That's all. The Supreme Court of Liberia has everything to say, and we are waiting patiently. They say those that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. So we say also those that wait on the Supreme Court shall rejoice. We are waiting. But in our wait, we've got to keep our people confident. We've got to remind them. We've got to get them to know that the Supreme Court hasn't said anything yet. People have started going with all kinds of fake things, and it is coming from nowhere but the other side of the political divide. They are putting out rotten sheets all on social media and making people to believe that the Supreme Court has ruled and the Supreme Court recognized Richard Cohn as the speaker. Don't give into that. Don't believe it. The court hasn't said anything yet. They still rumbling their head around everything. They are in the state of dilemma. They're trying the best they can to stay on the side of the law, but there is the political pressure from on the other side. So they are between the rock and the hard place, but they got no option because it is evident, it is clear. No VAR is needed here. Everyone knows, and they know very well, that the majority bloc out of the law completely, except that they will give in because of pressure, because of political threat, because of whatever they will perceive. Then they will be setting a bad precedent. But as I have told you, and I maintain, the Supreme Court of Liberia under no circumstance can go the way of the majority bloc. No way they can go on the side of the majority bloc. To do that is to set a bad precedence in this country, that one that could degenerate into a situation that this government will grapple to handle for years and years to come, because precedence is what people use to justify the present. If you went in court and you heard the lawyer referring to events in the past, using them as justification, in law they call that opinion, either negative or positive, either to win that case or to put the next person in a disadvantaged position, or to allow the judge to see reason why his argument is valid and should be given the approval, or the verdict should go his client way. Precedent is also generally anything that you do contrary to ethical norms, societal norms, tradition that people hold on to. And with the passage of time, when you try to tread an ethical plane, then they will bring that and say, you said this time, you did this time. So there is no need you complain against this man. You did it, or you said it. That's what they call precedents. meaning you set a condition by which it can be used either for or against. The Supreme Court, if it rules, which it cannot, but let's just, for the discussion's sake, rules or give a determination in favor of the majority bloc, then everything they stood for, everything they said from the onset, and everything that they believed that led them not to be a part of the inauguration or the State of the Nation address of President Joseph Yonma Boakai was a fake stuff, and everybody will go against them. Their absence, which Judge Yamigbeze explained, was simply all of them, or the entire gathering, was an illegal one. That is the reason, according to Justice Gbese, they did not attend anything the State of the Nation address of the president in Joseph Yeman Boakai. That was the sole reason, according to Justice Gbese.
When we, the national for the president address, they begin move of the news and the address itself. That was the common way of trying to avoid getting involved in potential conflict. You remember the conflict going on at the House, the Supreme Court, when they appeared before us, we made a decision. And the effect of that decision was that, look, our law required that the House should have a quorum, and that quorum should be presided over by a speaker. Now that you, the quote-unquote majority black, have a quorum, but we don't see a speaker there. So whatever you do is ultra-viral. Otherwise, it's illegal. We turn to the minority black, the law says until you can get majority, you get quorum, you must continue to adjourn from day to day and compare the other people to join. But there's no statute that tells you how you compare the people. You don't have a rule that tells you how you compare the people. So you two will remain there until you get majority. Whatever you do is ultra-viral. So on the both sides, the Supreme Court are clearly saying that go and solve your problem. We don't have law to that effect. We are don't have, we're not in control of politics. If for some reason the Senate decide to recognize majority black, president recognize majority black, and government function is going on, then we receive an invitation from the speaker. Our question is, our presence there means that we are recognized one side of the black. So the best thing to do was to remain who we are. That was the rationale. Many people don't understand, but that was the rationale of the court.
Certainly. So you guys cannot go on the other side. You've made it clear. Even the child in elementary school understands that very well. You guys cannot go on the other side. You cannot give in to any pressure from Judo Christopher. You guys cannot give in to any Pharisaic group. You guys cannot do anything other than what the law provides. We expect the Supreme Court to do the honorable thing, the patriotic and nationalistic thing. Anything to the contrary, the Supreme Court will be willfully, intentionally, unregrettably creating a crisis atmosphere that will affect this country for years. The Chief Justice and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court in their literary and legal cells know exactly what it is when things go the wrong way. They are aware of impact. They are aware of reaction. They are aware of emotion. They are aware of all of those things, psychology. They are aware. And so they will do the needful. They will do the needful. It will not in any way go the way of Richard Coon under no condition. We want to see that precedence, that bad precedence, that satanic, diabolical, I will call it, if it went that way, that will be the description, precedence in favor of Richard Coon, but it cannot happen. He can go on his days within that place as speaker, as they call him, so-called pseudo speaker. His days are numbered. Bouaka will have to trade the development of this country, or he will have to trade Richard Coon for the development of this country. He will have to give out Richard Coon as the sacrificial lamb for the development of this country. The whole world is waiting. The whole world is aware. Our country is not the only country with lawyers. We have seasoned lawyers all around the world who are aware of Liberia, and they know what it is. They know that the entire situation at the House of Representatives was a prank, a comedy, juntaism, mercenarism. And so they are waiting. They know that the Supreme Court cannot, but they are waiting to see. The United States government is waiting. The French government, every other partner or partner country, they are waiting patiently. They're not rushing. They're not speaking to anybody within any of Liberia's circle. They are aware. They know the law. They are waiting. So Mr. Bouaka will decide, having his boy on his chest, his cherished boy, Richard Coon, or what he signed up to, his signature tune, whether he can compromise his signature tune, which is, we'll build this country. Because if it went that way, I can tell you people with every certainty, this government will how should I say it? This government will go regretting. They will regret. Already there is confusion in the camp. There's confusion in the camp already. The Supreme Court cannot go their way. No. So we're waiting. Just to remind you, every day I will remind you, every day, under no circumstance, never ever can the Supreme Court rule in favor of the majority bloc. Nobody should ever again say two speakers in this place, because you know what, when you continue to say two speakers, it will add some legitimacy to Richard Coon. We don't have two speakers in this country. No country can have two speakers. If you will argue, if you will say two speakers, then you should equally say two presidents. Because, yeah, is it? Last week, I think it was last week, AB played a video which we watched. That has never happened in this country since 1822 to 1847, and then all the way up to 2003. It is only in 2024, only in 2025 we're saying that. So if you say we have two speakers in this country, then you should equally say we have two presidents. Go to that video. Nowhere a president is seated, already seated. A sovereign, democratically elected constitutional president is seated in a hall. The ceremony is on. And then you have police director stays at his house, goes to bed for a while, wake up, takes his time, take bath, find food to eat, relax, and then start moving. And everybody there, the president, and just walk in and sit. Nowhere it has ever happened. So when we go to a program now, President Bouaka sitting down, we will wait. When everybody inside Bouaka there, then we move in. Because the tradition, the presidential tradition or protocol is not respected. Everything is broken down. The people ain't see Bouaka as president. You can never do that. You can never do that. The police director is the first person who is on the ground to make sure that everything security is intact ahead of the president's arrival. But if you have president seated, then police director, even though that ain't me issue, but you know, sometimes when these things come up, yeah, just click on my president seated. 15, 20 minutes after police director walk in, no tradition, no respect for the president say. The people just, oh man, I rescue. So the Supreme Court would never ever, never ever, God himself is watching. God is waiting. He is the God of patience. He is the God of time. He's waiting. He's not rushing. He's watching everybody, the Chief Justice, the Associate Justices. He is the Chief Judge. He is the divine heavenly Supreme Court. So he's waiting too. Everybody waiting, the whole world waiting. Let the Supreme Court legitimize what they condemn as illegitimate. Then we know that this country here truly is it is a patronage state where everybody worships the patron, where everybody gave in, fall at the knees, worship, exalt the patron politically. We wait to see that. But we remain confident the Supreme Court will not go that route. Continue playing the King's Catch giveaway. It's 4K today. Just put in $1, Liberian dollar, or 70 cents US, and play 200, that's $1, sorry, $1, Liberian dollar, or 70 cents US, and get your 4K in this, Nebuchadnezzar reign. It's always a terrible time. Yeah, anytime you hear Nebuchadnezzar, just know it's terrible. Look up Nebuchadnezzar in the Bible. The people never had it anything easy. No, it was you either worship Nebuchadnezzar as the patron, the political patron, or you will have no survivor. And that's where we are. So you want to keep playing, dial *79 and *24#, play with $1, or $1.50. Let's move on to this one, and then we can allow you to have your say. The honorable vice president, former vice president of the Republic of Liberia, common vice president, not elite vice president, common vice president. All of the elite, the aristocrats, the bourgeois, the royal family, you find them in Unity Party dynasty. Those out of Unity Party dynasty, they are common people, common citizens. We know that for a fact because royal prince, vice president Jeremiah Kuhn made that clear. So we accept, and that is good because God in heaven that's the kind of person he is. So we accept that. So the common citizen, former vice president, Joanne Howard Taylor, made this revelation. She, among other things, talked about her benefit and the hardship of the country and what other things? Yeah, her benefits.
This is an issue that I've raised at many levels The first letter was sent to His Excellency the President on the fact that I was getting remuneration as a former senator. I should be getting benefits as a former vice president, which I'm not getting. There are benefits in terms of salary. There are benefits in terms of vehicles that I haven't gotten. There are benefits in terms of some staffing that should be allocated to me to make my life easier, because that is the way the law is written. That is still an issue. I've written everybody, the speaker, the president pro tempore, I've written the president, I've written the minister of state, I've written the minister of finance, and I've written recently I wrote the minister of justice about the issue, raising the fact that there are benefits being paid at the Supreme Court level. The former justices are getting half of the pay of the Supreme Court justices, and they have their vehicles and their benefits of staffers. I'm still not yet getting that. I left the inauguration and I was stuck on the floor. When I walked out of the inauguration, there was not one vehicle left to take me home. So I went and sat under a tree in front of the mansion. I waited almost 45 minutes before a private vehicle could come and pick me up. By the time I got outside to go home, the entire convoy had been shifted to the current vice president. There was not one vehicle left to take me home. The transition team that was set in place, they asked me to write a formal letter, reminding them of what my needs were, which I did, but nothing was done. I realized sometimes when we all want to get elected, we talk about a lot of things. It's not as easy to fix. It's not as easy to bring to pass. It's not as easy when you make all of those promises.
That was one of the issues she raised. The government debunked that her information was a prompt-up one. That means she just made that up, not the reality at all. The man who manages the government information inflow and outflow, Jeremy Pierre, has said that the vice president wasn't, but is receiving her benefits, everything that is due the former vice president. Yeah, everything. According to him, arrangement was consistent to have all her benefit in line with the normal flow. And he went on to say there's no law to that to provide, or it is written that a former president should have this, have that, a former vice president should have this, and that. It is just at the behest or the goodwill of the sitting president. That's what he said at MICAT briefing. Then another thing she talked about in her interview on Spoon was this.
But I know there's one example that I have that showed that we cared. We won these elections, and then in 2018, I had gone to see the woman to talk. I was there from like 8 o'clock to about 10:30, 11. We had a long conversation, laughing and everything. By the time I got home, I was called by one of the sons, and they said to me, "Oh, the woman had a heart problem in the hospital." So I'm like, I was the last person there. First thing in my mind that maybe people would think, I did something to him or something. How come you're the last person to visit the former vice president? By the time you leave, he ends up in the hospital. President Wea did all he could. We made rapid arrangements, and he went to Rhode Island, to the Rhode Island hospital to seek medical attention. All of that was paid for by government. And I think that was one of the key examples that I can link on, because I was involved in that process. Once I was called, I informed the president what was happening. And in a few days, he was sent off into Rhode Island. He did his surgery for his heart. I think that was showing care. In terms of what he received financially, I don't have the details. I think between the hospitals and the tickets and everything, it might have been about $100,000, because he had this heart surgery at the time he was taken care of, and government paid all of those bills.
Now, listen carefully to the end. This is not my focus. This is not the main issue. Listen carefully to the end. I am using this to bring out what Pia said again.
So I think that was a instant where we kind of showed care. When we were leaving office, he was given 2 vehicles, two new SUVs, to make sure he wasn't walking.
Did you hear that? Did you get it? Did you get it? Mark that down.
Where we kind of showed care. When we were leaving office, he was given 2 vehicles, two new SUVs.
Listen carefully. They denied everything. And I will tell you why Pia can never make a good information minister and one of the persons damaging Bouaka government, because they know that they cannot defend Bouaka. So they doing it in a way that he would think that they're putting out the right information, but they are putting out lies. The people have the information, they say it with confidence. Not a single document. Not a single document. One of the ways you convince people, especially on things like this, is by displaying document, if it was documented. That's one of the ways you convince people. The information minister will come and say, these are the documents to that effect. I have printed some 25 or 30, and you people can go through and see that the government had been providing. Since Bouaka came to power, he provided this to Joe Howard Taylor. He provided this to former President Wea. All the Joe Howard Taylor naming what they left with Bouaka. Let's go.
Where we kind of showed care. When we were leaving office, he was given 2 vehicles, two new SUVs, to make sure he wasn't walking on the street like they left me on the sidewalk. But in terms of dollars and cents as to what he received, hopefully we can get that information, and I will make sure I talk to Samuel to find.
In terms of dollar and cents, what he received, meaning George Wea, the Wea government did not abandon Bouaka. The information given by the former vice president and common citizen, I cannot tell you that it's absolute truth, but there is credibility because she was a vice president in the reign of George Wea. Not even on the French, but the nuclear of the leadership. So from deductive reasoning, we can conclude that what she said is true.
What the package was given to former Vice President Bouaka during that period. But I think he and President Wea had a good relationship. I don't think they were at loggerheads. He visited him several.
Thank you very much. He visited him. He visited him several times. Yeah, what Pierre said today at the Ministry of Information press briefing. He had the audacity to say that George Wea, president of Liberia, alongside his vice president, Joe Howard Taylor, the only thing they were giving Joseph Human Bouaka was $800 United States as benefit. Was 800. That's what Pierre said. 800. And that was all. He went to something else. Because he could not really disprove the woman, he needed to have said something. So he said, oh, nothing in the law that says former president should be given this. Former vice president is at the mercy of the president, the sitting president. And we are government. They did nothing extra for Vice President Bouaka. He said, how much were they giving him? 800. But yet, Joe Howard Taylor, common citizen, said 2 SUV new vehicles. Moreover, monies were given, dollars were given to the former vice president in his capacity as a statesperson, a former vice president. 3, According to her, on several occasions, we have visited the former vice president. And we know that for a fact because there are pictorial evidence to show that, to prove that. We have visited him when he was nobody. Then, who amongst them at the time, with all the dollars they were making from their respective professions, Bouaka was sitting over there in a poverty-stricken condition. Bouaka got sick. Which one of them they turned to Bouaka? In his capacity as former vice president, who turned to him? Not even his children was in the capacity or was in the position, to even help him. The woman said when she went there after 2 or more hours, she was called by his son. She was called by his son to say he had fallen off. And she immediately turned to nobody but George Wea. And according to the former vice president, Wea was rapid. She was rapid. That Wea was rapid. That means Wea saw it as the urgency of the moment. It was life or death. And something needed to be done with every urgency. So a charter flight was secure, dollars, everything. Is that what Pia will refer to as only $800 they were giving the vice president? You see how this country would never ever be on the plane that it ought to be? When we tell you that the country is cursed, then you think that you're more religious than any other person, or that you understand what curse is than God himself. All of these things. She said, I can be definitive with the amount, but I know that Wea was giving money. I will check with the finance minister. That's what she promised the interviewer. Yes, a woman who is highly educated. She will not tread a sentimental route. She said, I cannot tell you, but I know that Wea was giving money. But I cannot say now because I do not have the facts. I will check with the former finance minister and get back to you. But with what she explained, isn't it more than, or was more than 800? Why would Pia and the rest of the Unity Party people show that ingratitude with such diabolical lie that Wea wasn't catering to Bouaka? So they use that now by their reasoning, or they're telling you why Joe Howard Taylor and Wea can get what you want them to get, because they abandoned the former vice president in their reign. So since we in now, we will show the same thing, evil for evil. $800 could sustain Bouaka at that time. Why would Pia stood so low? Why you allow? If you don't get anything to say, chief, so you just leave it. You were sitting in America. Bouaka was in that condition. You could not even rally people in America to help Bouaka. None of you people were sitting here when Bouaka was former vice president in a poverty-stricken state. You knew it. You had no time. You people were on your own. You people were enjoying your lives. You abandoned Bouaka here. Wasn't it Wea who was taking care of Bouaka? Today, you see Bouaka as God. Today, all of you people worshiping Bouaka. Meaning, Bouaka is not God. I'm not saying in the context of God. but it means giving that respect now and honor. That's what it is. You people today, oh, you're talking about the best vision that Bouaka has. You knew that Bouaka has vision. You knew that Bouaka was this in terms of whatever the knowledge. But you people were sitting there and you wanted that knowledge to go by doing nothing, down to the ones that were here. The other man sitting at Maritime. That man, Nitola making money here. Bouaka was here sick. He was on his law thing here and there. I can name all of the people. They know the more Ali that's sitting there over there, he was feeling sorry at a certain point in time. Who told you that we know Bouaka's situation? Who told you that we know that Wea was sending money on that side? Who told you that Wea is ungrateful? It wasn't Wea that stopped Bouaka from becoming president. It was Ellen who worked against him. So why would Wea hold anything against him? But Wea moved to do everything. That is the reason I asked you yesterday. Put this situation in the reversal. Today you see how Unity Party people behaving. Put that in the reversal. If it was Wea in such a condition, do you think Bouaka and his people would have ever done anything to save Wea's life? Nothing. They would have never ever do it. The justification they're giving today, they would have given it. But we are in his humanitarian self. Say, this man, one, former vice president, a statesman, an elderly man. 4, the Bible calls for taking care of the elderly. Let me drop the presidency. Let me drop every other thing, but show my humanitarian self, because God is watching me too. I might be in such a condition one day and I would need somebody assistance. So it's not because I'm president. It's not because let's do everything we can to save. $800 that George Wea will look at Bouaka and you'll be giving him $800. $800 for Wea is just to say it takes go back surgery. That Wea will look at Bouaka in such a condition, you're getting $800. That's not true. That's not Wea there. No. So let's take it for a discussion signal. For discussion, say we are giving him 800. All of you people today now that hailing him as the best this, best that, what you people were doing? What did you people do? You sat down today. Costa is on record for bringing your vice president and president into public disgrace, in clear view of all of his children, that he, Costa, was feeding him, that he had nothing. He, Costa, was feeding him, taking care of him, carrying him to hospital.
I'm just warming up, so get ready for me. For the next 13 days, I will keep you crying. And you're crying all over the place. What I will continue to do, I've already succeeded in completely demoralizing your base. You're just crying all over the place. I haven't even started. I'm just warming up. How dare you, foolish, desperate people, talk about rescue country. Joseph Bouaka couldn't even rescue himself. Someone he passing around, oh, Costa this, Costa that. Where were you when I raised him money left and right to feed him and fly him from hospital to hospital? Where were you all sitting there talking nonsense? Costa that. Where were you when I raised him money left and right to feed him and fly him from hospital to hospital? Where were you all? Say Costa that. Where were you when I raised him money left and right to feed him and fly him from hospital to hospital? Rescue country.
So why you didn't raise money now? This man did, in clear view of everybody and the whole world. That's why he bragged about it. At that time, Bouaka was in such a condition. Wea led it. Wea came. So Listen, all of you people now is if God just created sin to bless all those who bless Boaka. None of you people will get God's blessing. Only one person will get God's blessing, George Wea. And I can tell you why. Drop the sentiment. We are never talk about it. Costa talk about it. Stanton talk about it. When you do something for a person, when you render good to a person, and then you make it public, you boast of it, the blessing that God had for you, for that, he takes it away. Don't ask, because if you went in the Bible, you see that plenty, the verses are there. That's why he said, when you do good, do not talk about it. Costa brag, Staton brag about it. So if God were to say, I'm blessing all those who bless Boakai in his poverty-stricken state, only one person God will bless, that we are. We ain't talking about it. We ain't going around telling people that he gave Boakai this. In fact, nobody, that just the few that people get to know that Boakai, that the president, we are in his presidency or in his presidential or humanitarian self, will do that for Boakai, chartering a flight to take him straight to a hospital in Rhode Island, paying the hospital bill, and every other person who was with him. If you just check with Rhode Island Hospital, at the time Boakai went there, you get to realize that the money, Joel Taylor said 100,000, but the hospital will give you additional, and it will amount to more than 150,000. But the money wasn't the issue. The issue was the former vice president's health. Beyond that, the former vice president, Joe Howard Taylor, said, we will go to him to see him and talk to him and make him to feel. Then Piat will sit at that Ministry of Information and say only 800 they were giving Boakai. Chief, you stop this thing, man. We can move the country this way. We can move. You know that I know. If Boakai, if you people had another person popular then, as Boakai was popular, that you went to him, you wouldn't have gone for Boakai. You people would have said his condition can allow him. But because Boakai was the only person, so you forced it. And all of us know that Boakai admitted in opposition then or prior to the election, he admitted that he wasn't in a good health to run. He didn't want to run. But because you wanted to come to power at all costs, you persuaded him. We saw that during the election, during the campaign, when you go this place, he fall off. Then you will Harley. When the media bring it out, he said that's not true. You go to the other place, he fall off. The inauguration falling off was not anything new. It was not in news. During the campaign, we heard that a couple of times. You want to admit, you want to show that gratitude. Just be honest that yes, we did this, we did this. Or I do not know, I will sit with the president now and speak to him on these things and provide you clarity. The same way you can say now, we should not politicize everything. But you the highly educated people now, you ain't even know how to take politics out, your politics inside. Then when it's being analyzed politically, then you say, when I politicize it. That George Wea will give Boakai $800. 800, what is $800? $800 US could not in any way cater to Boakai. Boakai was not in a good bill of health. He was on and off. Most of his Unity Party people admitted. In fact, when the elections was coming, I was at Capital FM, running bits and pieces. The people, when they go there for interview, after the show, we're sitting there and talking, they will say, oh, Sam, the papi, no, I don't think the papi is not in here. He's not in, a health can allow him. But the guy's just trying to force it. And we don't have any alternative. I know some of them, I interviewed them. They said it. Even before we went on the air. They get something in radio They call off-air discussion. There are a couple of things. That's why the person comes ahead and you're sitting and you talk one or two things. Sometimes the person will say, don't ask me this question, or I want you to say this, or I don't want to be this because I don't have information on it. I don't want to say something now. All of those things you're discussing before you get on the air. They say some things. It was right in that same studio that Akaras Gray admitted, in my presence, Bwaka Fofana presence, 3 of us were sitting in the studio. And when he gave that revelation, the chill came on me. He said, when all those things in opposition, United Party people saying this and that, they bring in education, this, again, we are does not have education, he cannot lead, all kinds of things. He said, one day we are called him in his bedroom. When Grace said in his bedroom, Bwaka Fofana, he said, what? He said, he called her in his bedroom. Grace said, yes. He got in his bedroom and told us, gentlemen, it's not so much of the claims that the people break against us, but we have a future. I'm hopeful that we can clinch the presidency. Let's get ourselves ready. Let's prepare ourselves. Let's go back to school. And then, yeah, that's great. He will even explain it more than I. Yeah. We know some things about most of you in opposition, Bwaka, the people around, every other thing. Yeah, Alec, you people jump from utopia on earth that they were just getting to know that we are good men, we are. We look at $800 in your gate, Bwaka. You know what I mean? $800, that money there, that money for such a person in such a condition. The man did not have car, nothing. So that what Pierre said today, he said at 800, and as it that rescue. So they justifying why no support will go to Joy Howard Taylor. And let me tell you, I don't think that she only raised it because she was in government, a stateswoman, a reputable woman, one of the greatest brains this country has, and former vice president. But I don't think Joy Howard Taylor is desperate for those things. No, it's just because she was asked those questions. Since she left the presidency, you heard her complaining here and there. If she wasn't asked, she wouldn't have said, I've not gotten my benefits, I've written this, I've written that. She'll keep quiet and she's moving on with her life. You've heard we are complaining of anything. We ain't even want a dime. We ain't even want nothing material. Nothing. Not even what the children call, the word the children can use, small kikini. We ain't even want nothing small kikini from Bwaka government. We are start experiencing life, real life before Bwaka. Even though Bwaka was born before we are. We are experienced life. We are experienced real money before Bwaka. We ain't want nothing, a dime, a penny. We are complaining on anything. In fact, that the man using his expertise, he's using his fame and contact for Liberia, bringing things to Liberia. The money that we are used at the time he was not president. You do the calculation on people, on institutions in this country, on people who had problems. Don't even talk about his fellow football players that were struggling. Put all of those monies together. Then that $800 that we just gave to Joe Bwaka. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But it will catch up with you people. Keep playing the King's Catch giveaway. Dial star 79 and star 24 hatch. Play with $1 or 70 cents US. And then you can have your 4K. It's 4K that we're giving out today. Oh, good. We're not giving you 800. We're giving you 4K. Okay, let's go to the line. But before then, let's read your comments. Dubon Hill said, they all lie with so much confidence, like their master. Philip Nangwe, At least Wea gave 800. What did Barker give Big Sons and the current rescue heroes did to help the Pape? Matthew Choloplay said, those so-called Unity Party supporters are seeing the wickedness from this old man Barker, but tomorrow, when the next government starts to do that to Barker, they will be saying the government is wicked to Barker. CDC Darlington said, Pierre is a blatant liar. He's just another unscrupulous element. Perry Slobot writes, the zombie commander, his junta rebels, all of them will give account of our resources that they are misusing. Moses Massacre say, if the Honorable Supreme Court was to rule in the so-called majority bloc favor, it will be certain an ultra-virus precedence for the future of the law and legal practitioners to copy. Okay. I think these are but the few comments. Let's get to the line. But before then, before we get to the line, keep playing. Dial star 79 and star 24 hatch, play with $1 Liberian dollar. That's just $1. That's small money. They're not 800, just small money. Just play $1 or 70 cents and you have your 4K. Before we get to the line, this reminder.
I'm feeling the vibes with originalhits.com.
In their continuous effort to mobilize and recalibrate for a great comeback, the National Due Payment Committee of the mighty Congress for Democratic Change, CDC, invites all partisans, supporters, and sympathizers to the launch of the CDC National Due Payment on Saturday, April 12th at the CDC National Headquarters in Congo Town.
Johnny beat the problem.
All people call you well.
It's time to show your loyalty and support for your dear CDC. By paying your dues, you will empower the CDC financially as she prepares to make a great comeback to national leadership in 2029. The launch will be led by First Partisan Dr. George Wea, Party Chairman Janka Cole, Party Secretary General Jefferson Tambakoji, the Speaker of the 55th National Legislature, Councilor J. Fonati Kofa, Senior Senator of Magibi County, and Chairman of the CDC National Legislative Caucus, Nathaniel Fallo McGill, the one and only Rescue Mother, Nora Finda Bundu, the Executive Committee members, and all party stars of the mighty Congress for Democratic Change, CDC. The CDC due payment launch will climax with live performances by famous entertainers like Hipko King Takun J, Christoph the Change, and Afro-pop singer Dench. Also see live comedians Paul Flomo, Arthur, and Ojuku. Also see student leader, the famous Angel Michael, and many, many more. It's the launch of the CDC National Due Payment on Saturday, April 12th, starting at 10 a.m. at the national headquarters of the mighty Congress for Democratic Change in Congo Town. Be there.
I've got just 5 years. Every sin I build the hospitals. Every sin I build the schools. Every sin I build the roads.
Let's go down 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97. The women's line 0777 9803 75. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello. Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Andrew.
Your name and where you call from?
Mrs. Kula, we say calling you from Congo Town.
Let's hear you.
Byron. Yes. Thank you for the show. Thank you for the topic this afternoon. I called to say that Malaha to the honor my government. So I don't want you to be talking for her.
No,
Because,
no, sorry. It wasn't about, I wasn't talking about the vice president. I only played that about what the Minister of Information said today.
Okay,
Because
thank you. Because
she
what
explained,
happened?
she
Yeah.
explained what she explained that led the Minister of Information to say that the George Wea government was giving Wakai 800 as its benefit.
Okay,
Only
because what
800.
happened? Yes, what happened? She shouldn't have been visiting Wakai in a family where she should know that they were opposition.
No.
She was
They
going
are
to
also
Wakai, visiting Wakai.
no. Sorry, madam, you may say they are also related. Hello.
Andrew.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Yes, you are on the air.
Another street light in Lower John Jesus.
Let's hear you quick.
Mr. Sam Andrew is a very disgraceful for the folk at the Ministry of Information to continue to market their ignorant to the Liberian society. You know, all what Madam Joa Howard Taylor explained, they are true and authentic. And it was even attested by Jojo. Joseph Imam Waka, he said his son appreciated His Excellency Dr. President George Wea for the kind gangster. This guy who is sitting over there that is misinformed will come today and use the makeup press briefing to infuse lie into the public. You know, these guys, they are free historian politicians. They are not educated. Chief. They are zero.
Thank you.
And the society is an educated society.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Andrew.
Let's hear you quick.
Yeah, Philip, I've been calling you. You know, Braga, his associates are all of them kleptomania. Except British men are kleptomania, you not read you down here. You see, George Wea, how much king that boat, or Tito Finale, that Damo. You need a thing for them, malaria.
Okay.
Then they will read to even malaria. But come on, no, young little people, so they let it go start.
All right, Chief. Thank you. Hello. Hello? Yeah. Let's hear you. What is your name and where you call from?
My name is I'm calling from Tansia West. In that case, they said they mentioned they were paying the former 5%, 9%, and they were getting
He said, no, not 8,800. He said George Wea government was giving Boaga 800 as his benefit. Only 800. That's what Pia said. Your line cracking, madam. Your line cracking. You have to change your location. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Rajiv.
Yeah, I'm fine. Let's hear you.
Okay. Thank you for the topic on our discussion. The name is Aaron Yamfo. I call you from the Borovia community. We shouldn't be in this country and then misinforming our people. The information minister here today, the information, the information that was played, that information is misleading, and then they shouldn't be in a country with deception. Thank you very much.
So what is the real one? A sense that was misleading.
The real one will come to light when the time comes.
Absolute nonsense. Hello.
Sam, you got me laughing. Good afternoon.
But I meant say the information that PI. So what a real one? Because that the real one PI get, I say you telling us that we saying the wrong thing. And according to PI, I get PI voice. But I don't want every now and then be promoting your Unity Party people.
So anyway, thank you for the show. So Sam, I thought of it, and I listened to the press conference today. But she had a prior conversation that is a Facebook conversation with Clarence Jackson.
You listen. Hold on, Hussein. Did you listen to the 800 part?
Pardon me?
Did you listen to the 800 part? Did you listen to the part that Pia said 800 was giving the former vice president?
No, I'm not getting to the part that Pia mentioned, the 800, right?
But that is my focus. That is the emphasis of my.
Yeah, so our following year, he said something of such. So, I got Sam. There is a law, the executive law permits that former officials of government, president and vice president, are entitled to 50% of the current officials.
No. Your people denied that. Pia said there's no law. I think they were trying to.
Executive law.
Listen, my man. Listen to the man. All true. The man said there was something they were trying to carve, but the previous government, he referenced Ellen government, and it did not come to fruition. So you can't hold anybody. There's nothing to hold anybody on, or that anybody can hold on and say, yes, this is the law, 50%.
No, then the question should be: they have former vice president Baka and current president now got to receive 800 no law to pay him that amount.
But the man said he said that he talked about the 800 like the man was only trying to do favor. Yeah, so he was just splashing. He just said, "Oh my man, yeah, you mean chunk the money on the man, me chunk 800 on the man." That's how he tried to portray it.
Let me now even go in that route to say I want to defend or justify what he said. They're happy to interpret what he made today. So I think, and I saw something of such on one of my sections, right? There is a law that former officials are entitled to their back pay, what we call a back pay or benefits. That one will come on Social Security and I think the Ministry of Finance.
All right, Hussein.
Yeah. So send that end on this note. You know, the people will say, what goes around comes around. Why should we have political differences? But former president, we have become a former president, so we don't expect any government to behave in that form of manner. But like he said, he ended on, he said the government has taken seize of the matter and they will see how best they can resolve it. Not only with her, but all officials who are retired, so government can start giving them
the people ain't want nothing that smoke screen. That smoke screen I was saying. The boy ain't want nothing from your government. The boy just putting you on the spot. They want nothing from your government. The boy other than they are what to do. That lie, blatant lie. Hey, Hussein. Okay, all right, that's true. Okay, see you. Why you can lie? You who you're saying 50,000 to? Why are you lying at that for? Where United Party people God will punish? Hold on, my man. God will punish you one by one. You'll be walking, talking about it. Says y'all fall down. Yeah, y'all be walking, you're going crazy. What you lie like that for? You know, the people, the other man, I heard that thing before. One other United Party man said 30,000. Are you saying 50? The other person would say 75,000. Well, I know.
You know the reason why? These guys are just keeping that deep-seated grudges in their heart for President Wea. The guys lack the pedigree to provide any logic. You get one PR sitting at the Ministry of Mis and Disinformation, spewing out lies. Wow, what will PR? Why will you be coming on the airway to be providing disinformation? It is unfair. You get one who sent there who put that so many rebuttal, not get nothing to do with and be lying to the Liberian people. It is unfair. Let's take your country first. Don't be carried away by rhetoric. St. Andrew, for me, I'm a young Liberian. This is Idrissa somebody. I speak truth to power always. I don't care about your feelings. Because this country, we have to protect this country.
All right, Idrissa.
Not this bunch of renegades that will come and be providing mis and disinformation.
Okay, Idrissa.
Here is an indecent character.
Thank you. Let's bring it on. Let's go to the women's line. Hello.
Hello, who's there?
Your name and where you called from?
This is Rose Datu calling from Front Street. Who's there? Sister Dre just want to let the Liberian people know what kind of people are these people. Common affected are sweeping George Wea give it to us to be sweeping on beach. The people then make us to where they never pay our money. They never give that woman a cent. Thank you.
Well, so you're sweeping in this government?
We the one that we are the taxi job.
Yeah. I know that. I got that. You said was paying you, but this government, and so I'm asking, you people are sweepers in Boaca government?
No, We left the job because we were just working.
Oh, they were not paying you. You people were working or sweeping, and they were not paying you people.
Yes.
So you left the job.
Yeah, 1 year we swept for 1 year, 4 more. They say job we are there one more money there for us. But we were I had to get off not asking 200 say that. They say the money where job we are there for us. But the 1 year, 4 more what we work for. So we did their work. So you think they will pay that woman? They will not get that woman nothing. These people are wicked set of people.
Okay. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, Saint Andrew.
Yeah.
La Kebe.
Kebe what?
Kebe from Bapolu. They should one.
Let's hear you.
Saint Andrew.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, I say I want to be sending my money, me and my son, every month want to be sending $2 for our party because far up now to come around.
Yeah, the people say they will send people on our side in all the counties, all the district, then all the different area. Then they will send people there so you can pay your due. Yeah.
Okay, that's we're waiting to pay our due.
Yeah. So yeah, you know I want you to do.
No.
You must be listening 6:50. 6:50. You put your radio on, and you will hear them. They coming today. Yeah, they coming top of A again. 6:50. Yeah, you must mark that 6:50 down on the paper. Be looking at it. So you'll be asking people, say what time, and say at 6:50. Say, oh, okay, CDC hour on Kings FM. So then you hear everything, yeah.
Okay, my son ba no bo, we me na no le bo.
Yeah.
Yeah, in it too. I need my son be paid.
Okay.
That's the issue now. Let Joseph Waka here. They may here. They the same line the pin. That the same line they will be on the go. You not believe it? Every talk something before every say see any government can install it when it be government official they can't do no better. They not believe it. Therefore when I do nothing, the line will the line will carry them. So bad.
Okay. So don't forget, 6:50, yeah?
Yeah, 6:50,
yeah, 6:50. This evening.
Okay, the evening,
Yeah. The people coming. Which way we go? Hello.
Hello.
Let's hear you.
Saint Andrew.
Yeah. Hi. Your name.
Yeah.
Your name.
Esther Dolan speaking from Westwa.
Let's hear you, Esther.
Donald Trump calls our president the last time that you are having small brain. When I talk about they got mud in their hair. So there were more than 3-4 calls that called me that tested me in Westwa. So myself, I was to a new place, but I'm back in town, I come to town. And this is why I will say it tomorrow, I'll say it today. This Waka government will never pray George Wea one day. So while we even looking for presents from them that for nothing. So we just forget about them because the people they are wicked set of people. So we just sit down and look up to God. Because if Waka not start behaving all of the way, we say listen when we tired with it, we're not waiting for 2020 now. We're suffering that they will let a man get from on our seat that people make their life. So I tell God, thank you for your in Jesus' name.
Amen. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, that great peace for
Let's hear your grace.
Okay. After God, thank you for the work that you can do. You always say we Liberians go to encourage us to give for the idea how to meet them. I appreciate your effort. This is what I call to be. I'll always listen to. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I want to tell you thank you because some of all we have heartbreak. We never had a belief that we should reach it far. But you always educating or always telling or where all the people doing it and we know how it's happening. If we continue saying that we'll just be hitting our heart off. So we just tell you thank you for your work done in Jesus' name.
Amen. Okay. Let's go to the mail line. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Andrew.
Yeah.
Hey, Joseph Flomo calling Madwana.
Let's hear you, Mr. Flomo.
You know, we don't bring Saint Jane.
Sam Gay.
It is.
Wait, my man. Wait. You said Sam Gay? Wait now, my man. You said Sam Gay?
Yeah, I think Gay. What are you saying?
No, but Sam Gay not talk anything. We're not talking about Sam Gay, yo. Sam Gay not talk anything, yeah. No, that the information minister. Jeremy Lake Pia. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that my man, you not go about you human being. Everybody can make error.
You know, we're not feeling it. Because the people getting power, they break all the law. So there's no law, there's no executive order. They can't read. So all that thing, I'm not believing it. Let me tell you something. Getting more items or importing more in the country. I'm not saying this, you are being the opposition. Everybody are not nothing to us here. All our ladies in the same country here. More items to draw around here, 14 tires, 20 tires. They are not living as out. They are living very natural. They say, yo, we are doing, President, we are government, we are doing bad. But we can't own a day. They put them on, say, in the corner, we must wait. 2029.
Okay. All right,
so
Chief.
everything they will do it right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hello.
Oh, Master, it's the brother. How you doing, Papa?
I'm doing fine. Thank God Almighty. And you?
Yeah, I'm thank God. This is Martin, the General of Clarendon. Thank you for the show. Thank you. Set it off. But we don't want praises for the government because the government will give somebody praises. They will give you praises for the town. They can't focus to hospital on the taxpayer money because you know that was an old man and his father. They will praise we are. But we don't want praises from them. They can say any other thing, the other man called and will be not fear, we get time for him. Whatever you say,
my sister, you turn a man to a woman? Will it be no?
My son, let me tell you.
Because Jerry Limmick.
Okay. After realization, let me not go to school. I'm not going to go near my son. So if I call it, I say they repeat to the point, and that's what I'm saying. I said, will it be not fear? When they walk coming, then you stay. Before they are no working at me, you call. I don't want to know that. We're suffering. And let's talk about it. We want pressure for this. If I say, well, it may not fear me. Know what I'm talking about. So somebody ask them what they can say. Now they can talk. Master, you see, but when you ask them, you can say anything. The thing we're going through in this country on a worker is too much. We're tired. Everything that we say, we are like I said, left behind. No pressure for him. We tell God, thank you for that. Listen to you on a Sunday morning, I can say yes. They must say, bro, you gotta get there. If somebody sound, I hope a book listen to you on Sunday morning. He will cheat. But that man, he dance with the devil, so he carry the brain, the devil of the brain. So that's even listen to. He said we will cry on the first year city. And when you go over, that man is really Kenny, RRA. They can't only talk here now, we're talking, on social media, the woman is crying. Let's finish it behind. They say that we are getting all the thoughts in the country. So what's that Boka do it? For me, I say yes. The Boka is working at all the thoughts. Because what in our hand? The cookie jar is in our hand. The hand is the cookie jar. As we see right now.
All right, my sister.
Destroy everything. So my brother will say, well, let me not be taking at the head.
Okay.
I don't need to come. Thank you, my child. I want to say.
All right, my sister. Have a nice day. LIB politics. Okay. So let's have a break. But keep playing the King's Cash giveaway. It's 4K in the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. Dial star 799 star 24 hatch. Play with $1 Liberian dollar or 70 cents US so that your pot or your part, as we say in Liberian time, can ball. The lawmakers, the people in the executive, everywhere, they're part balling, real balling. You know what? Because to get it mad. But some of you, your part not balling. So we're giving you mad so your part can ball. Eh? They ain't care about you. They're part balling. So if you don't get money, your part can ball. You'll just be there, be worrying and worrying. If going hold you, you will fall down and die. Don't take that serious. Please, you wouldn't die. But you have to do something to get money. 4,000 Liberian dollars we're giving out. Dial star 79 and star 24 hatch. Play with 200 Liberian dollars. That's, sorry, $1. $1 Liberian. And then you can also play with 70 cents US so your pot can board. This break. And your pot needs to board. It must board. But the pot cannot board when you don't have money. That's why we give him 4,000 Liberian dollars so that your pot can board. Dial star 79 and star 24 hatch. Play with $1 Liberian dollar or 70 cents US, and then your pot will board. The legislative courts are balling. JMB and his officials, the elite, the aristocrats, the bourgeois, all of them, their pots are boiling. That's why you giving you 4,000, man. Don't ask. Just get the 4,000 so your pot can boil. Put aside the politics. Don't concentrate on the politics. Just make sure that you get money so your pot can boil. Get everything in your pot with 4,000 Liberian dollars. That stars 799 star 24 hatch. Play with $1 or 70 cents US, and your pot will not stop boiling. It will always boil. Yes, everybody pot boiling, but mine can boil. Your pot can boil. It is up to you. If you want your pot to boil, it will boil. If not, it will not. Uh, that money can cause the pot to boil. That's why we're giving you the mass so your pot can boil. Nima County by election is on the 22nd of this month. 6 persons are contesting, 1 female and no 7, 1 female and 6 male. They are contesting who wins the senatorial seat to replace the late Prince Yeruwe Johnson. The Liberia Electricity Corporation acting boss, the final lab, second final, and then we out. The Liberia Electricity acting boss, Waka love acting and suspension. 2 things. Waka is associated with or associated with Waka, or is synonymous to his name or with his name. Suspension and acting. Those 2 elements are the core character of our president. Suspension and acting. You have several persons acting in this government. Yesterday, they were questioning we are. Yeah. I think I need to bring some of those clips, man. Yeah, we can just be talking with the people not hearing their voices so that they will know. Yes, because you want to convince your audience. Just talking it, they will have to believe. They will believe it, but not the conviction will not go. Yeah. So I think I need to start bringing their voices so the people, yeah, just like we've been playing this liar man, this liar man.
And now we have one of the organizers and an activist joining us on the line. This is Mr. Mo Ali, who comes to us from the capital, Monrovia, in Liberia. A very good morning to you, and thank you for joining us on the program. Now, why have you organized this march against President Wea?
Morning. As to your first question, we have organized the march not particularly against President Wea, but against the style of governance. There is exclusion of people who express their feelings, people who criticize government. There is corruption all over government. It is evidenced by the mismanagement of 25 million. He has refused to prosecute those involved. There's still the issue of 16 billion lingering. There is this issue of interfering with the judiciary. There is this issue of consistent interference with the functions of the legislature. There are lots of things. We have violations of our constitutions and laws. And so we are organizing this protest to tell Mr. Wea that these things are wrong, and also to tell the country how he intends to resuscitate the economy.
So we will allow you to hear them. The managing director, the acting boss. No, no, what boss? I even said the people for publication. Our president is creative, but that kind of creativity is what they refer to as cunning creativity. If you know what the word cunning is. So the LEC acting boss, because he changed three different persons or three different presidents he appointed. The first time in the history of Liberia, the president can appoint, he appointed you to this place, couple of a day or two, he takes you from there, he carry you to the other place, then he bring you back, then he take you from there. Yeah, man, the other president, yeah. So the man said, Mohammed Sharif there. Mohammed Sharif too, he goes there taking over. One guy tried to bypass the Senate confirmation hearing. I think he has a problem, or the guys at the Senate did not too satisfied with him. So Bwaka made him acting. Nothing wrong, nothing. The position requires full nomination. The sector, though, is in a dire state, but it is not at the brink of collapse that you will need a Scarlington or somebody with that kind of expertise to move in and start doing the work. So under such a condition, you can keep the person there acting until when everything is settled, then the nomination for the person to go and get the official license to take over formally. But nothing like that at LEC. It is my understanding that the guys in the Senate, they have a couple of reservations with this man. And Buakai knows that very well. So to avoid any photo or difficulty or long fall, he just put the man there as acting, Mohammed Sharif. He goes now, yesterday was wrong in Wea government. Everything they argue against in Wea government, they're doing it today. The only difference is the year. He goes to take over. He said, under his watch as head of LEC, the people of Liberia for the next 5 years, they will not experience on and off electricity, meaning no home, no business center, no zinc shop, no Kinju center, no top business area, no house will go off current for the next 5 years. He said everything will be okay. The country will not experience the on and off current thing. Will not experience it. That's what the new boss said. Mhm. Interestingly, we already in racism, so that one there, you put it aside. But let's have a listen to him. Let's have a listen to the new LEC boss. What's going on? Okay, I will get him. I'll get him. But that is the basic thing he said, that the country will not experience any interruption. There will be no on and off electricity supply. Everything will be current, and the country will enjoy a free flow or current electricity. There's not going to be any problem whatsoever
So not just electricity, affordable, we want a Liberia, each and every citizen, business, has access to not just electricity, affordable, reliable, and sustainable electricity over the next 5 years. We want a Liberia, each and every citizen, business, has access to not just electricity, affordable, reliable, and sustainable electricity over the next 5 years. We want a Liberia, each and every citizen, business, has access to not just electricity, affordable, reliable, and sustainable electricity over the next 5 years. We want a Liberia, each and every citizen, business, has access to not just electricity, affordable, reliable, and sustainable electricity over the next 5 years. And what that means, it means everybody has to play their own role. The board will have to play their role in supporting the management to achieve that. Ministries and agencies have to play their role in supporting the management to achieve that. And the Liberian public has to play their own role because the electricity that is coming is not for free. We will have to pay for it in order to enable LEC to pay for the electricity. That's in a short term. That's the one called the first bucket. The second bucket, we need to turn around LEC, transform LEC. Let us use our creativity, our innovation to turn around LEC to become operational excellent, financially viable institution. We don't need to go to the government of Liberia for money. We need to attract investment in the private sector. And the way you do that, you transform the institution, and it starts from the corporate governance. We need to structure in a sense, working with the board, the relevant stakeholders, to make sure our corporate structure, corporate governance, as well as our management structure, meet international best practice. And this is why, as I come in this position, humble, with my own experience from the region and beyond the region, I can commit that I'm going to work with you along with my team to ensure, and electricity is a right. Liberian people deserve electricity yesterday. That's how urgent it is. And this is why when I came, even though I did not take official over, today is the official handover. But Mr. Chairman, I want to tell you that I've been working.
But I know there's one example.
No, hold on. So that's the acting head of the Liberia Electricity Corporation, Mohammed Sharif, with that assurance. So we look forward to that. And we expect that we will have no excuse or excuses coming. Power generation is the source, the basis for economic growth. Without that, the economy of the country can flourish because everything depends on energy. Everything depends on electricity. In the absence of electricity, not only that, but regular electricity. So we look forward. Let's see how he's going to work it out with that assurance. What we know is like we're going to be purchasing electricity from regional countries. I think they have started speaking to Guinea. Guinea is part of that arrangement. Ivory Coast, they have that also. We don't know yet the full agreement, even though they announced that they had entered or reached a memorandum of understanding with CIE of Ivory Coast for the supply of electricity. And you heard the acting MD said that everybody needs to support the project or the regularity of it by paying your bills, by every other thing needed. So in essence, he's saying that if people not paying bills, if the institution cannot generate the revenue required to pay, because he said the country is everybody going to be paying the money you pay, recharge, and every other thing. So if the government can generate that money within the time frame as per the negotiation, then it means that the 5 years plan is an illusion. He is not a miracle maker. He is just a showcaser, a pretender. Listen, I say it because every person that went down there, they did nothing extra. That Bwaka appointed everything. Bwaka just shifting people. Morning Captain tried the best he could. Morning Captain staying in that place. He inherited a bad LEC from Ellie and Bwaka administration. He did his best to take it to the extent that the revenue generation base of LEC grew exponentially. The guy there can't do anything extra, bragging of where he worked regionally and internationally. Anybody you hear taking over and bragging of their credential or where they work, nothing extra they can do. Nothing extra that may do over there. The first thing is we're already in rain season. Rain season, there is regularity because the hydro is filled. I want to believe that he has that in mind. Dry season, LEC can be no regular. All the administrations or the heads that being at LEC, they have not solved any problem. Dry season, 6 months for covering to be regular. That thing Mohammed Sharif said, forget it. We know how some people can come to post, pass through your man. Oh, my man, PR, you know, I can handle that thing and send you close to the president. I want you to talk to the president. Man, I can make it. Don't worry. That's how some of these people come to government, but not that the president knows everybody. So let's see. But we know that energy is key. Energy is vital. Energy is the lifeblood of the growth of the economy. In the absence of energy, nothing absolutely can happen. Nothing. Without LEC, we're not going to be on the air. Without a generator, we're not going to be on the air. So you're not going to yell, we need that. So we on because of energy and you're getting the information. So you see, you can run your business. Those of you who selling cold water, selling salt drink, everything together, when current goes, what happened? You complaining. If you don't have current for 2-3 days, you can make money because nobody will want to buy a drink that is warm or hot. So you hear the business people complaining all around. So we look forward to seeing that. Though we in dry rain season already, so nothing extra here. Said the tax will start in dry season. We in rain season. When it rains for 2-3 days, LEC will be regular. We know that for a fact. Everybody, even the unborn child, knows that rain season LEC can be regular because the hydro will be filled. So that thing that he said, I hope that now dry season, he just say quick that no, there will be no on and off. Dry rain season, no on and off. You manager of LEC, people will know your ability, your professionalism in dry season. In dry season, LEC is just like a cappella song. If you know, if you can sing, you can sing. You know how the people will know? Without instrument. Without instrument. They say yes. The person, yeah, because they will see your skill. Because instrument can hide some things, you know. Okay, so let's talk this one quick and then we go. ANC had a homecoming today, and the place was practically empty. Alexander Cumming has lost the political essence in Liberia. The fame that he had, that he developed when he came initially and tried to maintain, that number has dropped. The homecoming today didn't have the kind of essence and relevance of a political party. Cummings went there, he just ranted all over the place. You could sense no enthusiasm. The few people that were there, you could sense that they were there because, oh yes, the standard bearer here, so let's go there. But deep down within their hearts, they know that the party now has lost value and essence. Moreover, Cummings is not going to be releasing the money, the dollars, as he was prior to and in the election. The only standard bearer that was giving out money loosely, to the extent that Louis Brown and Martin Collet stole, not even stole there, let's just say they collected their own 70K. They collected because he didn't say anything. It meant nothing to him. Their program, it was 1%. The representation was 1%. 1%. What's the man's 7%? Then the 2023 1%. If I were Cummings, I would just retire from politics. Forget about Liberian politics. The people don't see Cummings as anything again. They don't value Cummings. And you know why? Let me tell you the single most reason. Cummings dwindled. Cummings was not consistent. Cummings is a character. He is a cunning character politically. He was between the scissors. He on the side at one point in time. He doesn't want to criticize the side. He will come on the other side and say he could not call a spade a spade. He praising Joe Boakai, but does not want to condemn Wea. At one point in time, he's critiquing Wea administration and does not want to be critical of Boakai because Boakai was coming in. You go back to Cummings' record. You take if not all, but most of the speeches and come all the way into the latter part of the elections, on the brink of the elections. During the endorsement period, did you see him? No sound politician, no politician who is ready can ever do that. He goes to Wea. He gives Wea the impression that he's coming to support him. Couple of hours or a day, he goes to Boakai. He endorses Boakai. Who in their normal self will ever take such a person serious? He will Wea. He praises Wea. He goes to Boakai. He praises Boakai. Then he comes out and say, I'm not voting for anybody, and my supporters, they are left with the decision to decide. But I, as the standard bearer of the Alternative National Congress, I will not be voting for anybody. I'm staying clear of the election. What kind of sound politician can ever do that? What kind of politician who has the country at heart can ever do that? What kind of nationalistic and patriotic politician can ever do that? What kind of leader that the people look up to for a sense of direction can do that by leaving them, by showing no leadership? And you think Cummings will ever get any number? If the next election, 2029, if Cummings gets 0%, then he should tell God thank you. He should praise God. If he gets 0%, if 0% is a percentage or a desirable number. The guy is dull. D-U-L-L. The guy is dull. That's why in life you don't waver. At one point in time, you're on the side. Another time, you're on the side. You know why the guys were eating Cummings' money? Because they saw that inconsistency in Cummings. They saw lack of leadership. What they saw in him was money man. But they knew that he did not have the leadership. He don't have the leadership ability. They knew that he flips. So they were not looking at Cummings. The guys were not looking at Cummings as leader. They were not looking at Cummings as the next alternative. No, they saw Cummings as the money bag that they could get something from and improve their lives. And that's what we saw throughout ANC time. To the extent that the guys, Louis Brown, United Nations with Martin Collar or Collet, they took their own from him. They ate their own 70,000. Today, look at Cummings. Cummings looks so sorrowful at the program. Cummings, you could not see that value. You could not see not the value, but the aura of a politician. A politician. Hey man, how should I describe this man? I want to give you a graphic picture. But look, the man was just looking sorrowful, abandoned. Like when you abandon somebody, nobody get time for you. You're just there. That's how Cummings' program was looking today. Few people there. And then he gave his speech. People, when he say one or two things, you can't even hear the clap. Cummings lost his essence and value. You never flip. You never falter. No reason why he got that infinitesimal number. Very tiny. That Edward Appleton will come ahead of him. The main program was sorrowful today. Oh. Very sorrowful. LRB politics are something. Oh. Yeah. Look at Cummings. Cummings and the people were flooding. They were all behind Cummings everywhere he go. The first time Cummings came, in no time, Cummings rallied. The people Cummings numbers increased. The multitudes were behind Cummings. What? We're going on neck boss reading the elections results. I they call the councillors there. Hey man, just forgetting the councillor. Ah, Cummings, third place. Everybody say, yeah, but the guy here, they got strong. Can you imagine the man? The man just coming to Liberia and the man has secured third place. I think the mayor can be a best alternative if he really stay consistent. That's why we heard some people saying. Cummings too, he started moving, started making some speeches, checkmating the Wea government, saying something then. Only to realize going into 2023, he start flip-flopping. So the guys say, oh, but the mayor, we can eat. Louis Brown and Martin Collet, he say, but the mayor, that mad, the mayor money, again finish. So after the election, we not get any opportunity. Let's collect 70K. We're already on the brink of the campaign. When he raised any concern, or he will not raise concern, only the media will be reporting it here and there, and you will not want the media to run with it because it will have an impact. You know, Louis Brown is very clever. Louis Brown is a sound politician. That thing was pre-calculated. They organize it. Somebody will just go 70K, that money will just get missing that kind of way in a thin air. They both knew at that time that when Cummings would not want to raise any concern because it was going to have a negative impact on the party. So they kept it within. It was the media that was flagging it. You heard Cummings say anything? Cummings never have press conference on it. Cummings never gave interview about it out of Liberia. He just left it. Why did he leave it? Because he did not want it to have any negative impact on the party going into the elections, because he was confident, alternatively, he was going to show himself as the alternative by clinching the presidency. The main program was too sorrowful, man. Very sorrowful. Very sorrowful. Pathetic. Yeah, he himself felt it. Well, it's not really. Cummings got to leave. Chief, you got to leave Liberian politics, though. 2029. Before 2029, forget it. Nobody trusts you again. You bring any dollar in this country, the people will eat it. So if you know what I know, that stick to your Cummings Foundation and other things. Leave the pure politics, because you mess yourself up. That thing, when I saw that thing, I said, God, what kind of man is this? Be consistent. When you endorse Wea, from there you endorse Joseph Yuma Boaka. Then to vote now, you say you're not voting in the place. Then why did you go to endorse Wea? Why did you go to endorse Joe Boaka? I said, well, what can I mean? They may how some people can use their education. Or you think endorsement is vote? Oh, yes, it's vote, not by encouraging the persons by your presence, but by going to the ballot box. And you endorse one person. You can endorse two at the same time. The same way God said you can serve two masters. You have to choose one. Everybody that went the endorsement period, they went a side, they took a side. Tier 1 Gonglo took a side. Everybody took side. Well, he said he was not voting, but then he endorsed Wea. From there, he went to Boaka, endorsed Boaka. That kind of sycophantic attitude, you expect that people will trust you in life. Of the elections, beyond Cummings, anybody who does that in life, nobody will respect you. Nobody will trust you again, because you are a sell-out person by loose integrity, misguided. So he saw it today. Nobody has time for Cummings in this country. That political party died. Alternative National Congress, it died. I hope Cassell was alive, because Cassell party was going to be better than Cummings. All right, so that's it. Let's go a few calls on this one. If any, then we are out. I know that you are playing, keep playing the King's Cash giveaway. Dial *79 and *24 hash. Play with $1 Liberian dollar or 70 cents US. And then you have your 4K going into the weekend, not the week, but the middle of the week. Let's take a few calls and then we are out. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Michelle, calling from Second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm listening to your talk shows, and pertaining to Arizona Cummings, that attitude of him, it shows no sincerity. Because as an individual, once you are not sure, once you are not straight to the point, nobody can believe you. At certain time, you won't deviate. At certain time, you won't come. Nobody trusts you.
Mm-hmm.
Even I call during the election, there was a lot of endorsement going on. At a certain point, you will go to Unity Party. At a certain time, you will go to I call CDC. Even bringing the late or I call or girl to run as him as running mate. Latin politics is very, very small and very, very strategic, because if you don't have the mentality to carry on politics in Liberia, you'll be left behind.
Okay, Chief, thank you. Hello. Yes, you are on. Yes, you are speaking with Sam Andrews, but you are low. You're very low. What happened? Yeah, I'm fine. You are low. You want to change your location? Yeah, but you are low. The people not get. Hello. Yeah.
What? No election, and I want to go back. It's coming. Look at that kind of people who want to start today.
But where you at? So no, your the.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, alarm battle.
Hello?
Yeah, you are on the air. Let's hear you.
Yeah, you are speaking with Charles Paul from Decimal 14, precise Patriotism community.
Yeah, let's hear you, Charles.
We know that Arizona Cummins already failed. So Arizona Cummins not going to know where to go, not got nothing to do in Liberia politics. So he's wasting time. And then there's been a lot of money from America in terms of Liberia. People get money free. So Arizona could give a people chance and give our country the free way, because why they will come, they will do the one, they will say the one, they will come on the side do the one, still do have recognizing. So as a local will go back to America and sit down and enjoy money. Thank you for calling me.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day. Hello.
Sam Andrew.
Yeah.
How you doing, my dear brother?
I'm good.
I'm Idrissa.
Let's hear you,
Yeah.
Idrissa.
Mr. Cummins, man, he seems to be serious for the job. Man, they be trying it, look, that's what I see it.
Yeah, we are trying logo, you're right.
They be trying like try error stuff. Man, I prepared, man.
No.
What can I say? See what the country will come in do this. Serious. Only president we are kind of take us through. That's how I see it. The great Beku Bear. Saturday, people making way. And we should see you.
If Cummins had just taken that decision stuck with Wea, this situation would not have occurred. But he impacted the runoff election. In fact, with his inconsistency endorsing two persons. Where have you seen that? You endorse two persons at the same time? No, it doesn't make sense. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, let's hear you. What is your name?
Hey, Andrew, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
This is A.P. Kale, man.
Yeah, let's hear you, Mr. Kale.
I'm calling for Carl Patrick, Jamaica Road.
Yeah, you are on the air.
Some brother, you are starting off. Women should forget what politics it is. Thank God, Ali, you are a wanted man. And it's not becoming. What more do you want, my brother? Get in the private sector. Look at the money in here. See the kind of investment it's doing. I think women should be one of those. Get in the private sector, employ Liberians. Your fellow Liberians. I think it will be better for Kumi, my brother. Kumi will not waste the time. You can't win election in the country. We are outside. We can see a sign. Andrew.
All right.
Apart from you saying that we see in the sign.
Thank you, Kale.
Yeah, thank you for following the time, my brother.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was saying this. That same brother named Martin Kula. They 70,000 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Kula, Louis Brown, who put his stomach in rebound.
Okay.
Martin Kula, my brother.
Thank you. Hello. Let's hear you. Yeah.
I'm Mito Dennis, the chairman for the Voice of Clergy County. I call from Peaceville. Yeah, thank you for the topic on our discussion. You see, Mr. Cummings, he just been in session because in George Wea regime, Cummings was there going in America lobbying that nothing the American people should support what. We even got the information that he went in America and spent not less than $180,000.
Okay, Chief.
Hiring people to lobby against the country, so supporting the country. Now he's seeing all the reckless things happening in the particular thing, in the particular country here.
Okay.
He was saying why he was in the CPP. They were
all right, Chief. Thank you. All those history we know. I'm not asking for history. I'm just telling you what it is for Cummings. His fate going into 2029 is doomed. He's finished politically in Liberia. No one going to take Cummings serious. No one will vote for his party to make the impact between the range of 1 to 10. No, I think if he will have number, it will be around the 25, the 30. The man is very inconsistent. Had he gone with Wea, I do not know whether that would have been the deciding factor in the presidential runoff election, but I think it was going to have a greater impact because look at the margin between Unity Party and CDC. Assume that Cummings will encourage his people to vote CDC. That margin that Unity Party won with will have cancer. That is the essence of presidential endorsement. When you are running to be president and you don't make the second round, you have to be definitive. You have to take a side. God, who created all of us, God takes side. God is never neutral. God is a partisan. God in heaven is a partisan. He has a side. He takes side in everything. What more of us human beings? You can never ever be neutral. No one on earth, since God created war, going into the next war, and the new heaven and new earth, neutrality will never ever exist, because that's how God created everybody, with that instinct of siding. So let it be known. People must know you for something. That's what identity is. They must know you for who you are. People know you by the decision you take and the action they say. No one is neutral, and don't allow people to be telling you people that jumbo gibberish. Me, I don't support any party, or I'm supporting CDC, I'm supporting Unity Party, and the way the country looking, me, I'm neutral. That is a blatant lie. Then it means that you are not a human being. You were not created by God. You created yourself. And how possible is that? You have to take side. When I saw that thing, I said, God, what kind of Liberia is this? What kind of politicians we have? You go to Buaka. After that, then you go to Wea. Then you announce you will not be voting in the presidential runoff election. It is left with your people to decide. So why you wasted your people time all through? Why you wasted their time? Because that time wasting, you are just pouring out resources because you have the resources. The resources is not so much, it aids leadership, but you have to tell the people, look, this is it. You are the leader. You are the drum major. You are the commander. You are the one steering the ship. You are the pilot. You have to take a decision. Moses bringing the people out of Egypt. Moses took a decision. Moses took side. That's what leadership is. When Joshua took over from Moses, Joshua showed leadership by taking a side. He took a decision. It did not go well with everybody, but he was definitive of a side. Paul took his side. Nobody neutral. You can serve two masters. God said it. So you see that his program was too pathetic today. Oh, it was too pathetic. Very sorrowful. Very. I wish he didn't have that so-called homecoming. Yeah, man. I love you. This country. I see you, man. So they say Real Madrid and Arsenal playing tonight. Eh? Okay. Oh. Yeah, we probably won't get fish to fry in our oil. Arsenal, but honestly, I've just told you people about no neutrality. Let me tell you. I support Arsenal, but I'm not convinced that Arsenal can beat Real Madrid. I can tell you, yeah, I'm neutral. No. You will not have the full identity of two teams, but when you go sit down, one side you get to like one side. The high looking, anything for that matter, you like one side. As a Barcelona fan, I want Real Madrid to get out of the Champions League, just as Real Madrid want me to get out of the Champions League. But I cannot in any way underestimate Real Madrid's strength. Neither can Real Madrid underestimate Barcelona's strength. It doesn't matter whether the cup goes to Spain with either Barcelona or Madrid. No. But Arsenal, as far as I know, Arsenal is not in the position to put Real Madrid out. Tonight, I see Real Madrid winning. Real Madrid will leave the Emirates Stadium with a win. I'm not too sure of Arsenal. If Arsenal takes a draw or draws the game, then that is a plus for them. They have won the trophy. Going back or going into Spain on Santiago Bernabeu, I see Arsenal winning. For tonight, as I have said, I have a side, and that side is Arsenal. I can't tell you that I'm neutral because I'm Arsenal fan. It didn't make sense. No neutrality. So I'll go for Arsenal, but I'm not too sure that Arsenal can win Real Madrid because I know what Real Madrid is. I know Arsenal's strength. Arsenal dwindled in the weeks in the Premiership. They fell short. They lost a couple of games. They drew. They not in the form as they were when they started the Premiership. Arsenal is not in the best of form to face Real Madrid. As much as Real Madrid is not too strong of a side yet, they too, they have an injury problem, the fatigue, they're trying to gel. But I don't think Arsenal can beat Real Madrid tonight. No. If they did, well, we all would celebrate them. But Arsenal faces a Herculean task. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced that Arsenal can beat Real Madrid. I see a Real Madrid win. Yes. That's it. Thank you all. That's all the time we got. Arsenal fan, as Andrew Man talking, whatever. That's the truth, Chief. Yeah, I know Real Madrid. Real Madrid is a strong side. It's not, you can't underestimate anybody. I'm not underestimating Arsenal either. I'm just saying that Real Madrid will win. If they can, and Arsenal wins, or they draw, fine. So that's it. We off. The news is on in just under 30 minutes. King's Newsroom. Please follow it for the latest events unfolding. And after the news at 6:50, CDC hour is on. It runs from 6:50 to 7:50. And at 8 o'clock, Face the Issues is on with Teacher Lines. A.B. William. God sent the evangelist. Yes, that will be at 8 o'clock. Another fascinating one. You don't want to miss it. Get ready to share the show. Okay, so that's it. If God permits, we're back tomorrow. Shalom.